and welcome to Moonbeam Connections. I'm Jackie Lee. Today on Into the Shadows, we're going to be picking a shadow card and we're going to see what shadow aspect Spirit wants us to start healing, start looking at, start acknowledging, start realizing that it's there, what past wounds are actually there. Now, I do set the intention that these messages reach those who need them when they need them. So if this message did find you today, it does mean that this message is meant for you. It just might not be that the entire message is meant for you. It might just be a portion. So take what resonates and just leave the rest behind. So we're asking for a shadow card. What shadow aspect does Spirit want us to look at or examine or, conflict freeze. Okay, I'm sure we've had this one before. So this is really all about, when you get into a confrontational situation that you kind of shut down, you're worried, it says here, you feel guilty, right? If someone gets into conflict with you, you feel guilty, even though you may be in the right, even though you did nothing wrong, you'll still sort of take that on. Well, this person's upset. It must be my fault. This person's upset. I need to be the one to fix it. This person's upset. It can't be that they have a personality flaw, right? Like it must be on me. And then that fear of disapproval. And so when we have this conflict freeze, and as always, most of these shadow aspects of ourselves come from our childhood, right? Childhood puts certain patterns, into our brain and how we think, how we feel, how we interact with the world, how we take things in. And so one of the reactions from that, one of the fallouts from that can be having this conflict freeze where you don't like being in conflict, and not that many people do like being in conflict, but that you avoid the conflict. But then when you get into this conflict, you just sort of shut down. You can't stand up for yourself. You feel like the other, like it must be all you, right? You kind of take it on yourself. It must be all you. You must be all bad, and so instead of standing up for yourself or standing up for your point of view or defending, what happened or saying, hey, you're wrong, I'm actually right in this, you end up just shutting down, being quiet, taking that on as your own fault, feeling guilty about it, right? Worrying about what other people think because now you're in a conflict with this person and you should, just have harmony all the time, which isn't possible either. So Spirit wants you to acknowledge that you have conflict freeze. When you get into conflicts, you may shut down, and be more worried about the perception of what's happening than what's actually going on, if that makes sense. Like worried about, other people looking down on you, other people seeing you have this conflict with somebody. And so now, other people are going to think that I'm not a good person or, not worth the time. Or, if I can't make this person happy, well then, that must mean that there's a fault with me. It must be all my problem. So let's see. We are going to get a card for advice on how to start healing this. And of course, trauma therapy. I always recommend therapy, any kind of therapy, really. It's always good for therapy, even if you think everything is going well. Everybody could use a couple therapy sessions. So let's see, what advice, there we go, does Spirit have for us in healing this? Okay, so we got judgment, and judgment is all about awakenings and finding that redemption, reflecting on things, rebirth, right? Having a new phase, but this is the card of sort of, we're near the end of our travels, right? So this is in the major arcana. This is the second last one, with the last one being the world card, which is all about completion and, the end of a cycle and the start of a new cycle. And so when we have this card, this is sort of like reflecting on everything that has been done, right? Up until this point, we went through all these arcana cards and sort of coming to an awakening, a new conclusion, an understanding. And I think what Spirit is really saying about this is getting this understanding or waking up from this fear of conflict. And I know that's so easier said than done, But like understanding that the conflict isn't about you, right? Having this awakening where you're like, oh, I see now, right? Like I'm always in conflict with you because you're always bringing the conflict to me. It's not that I'm a bad person. It's not that I'm incompetent. It's not that I don't do things correctly. It's that you are the problem and you keep bringing the conflict to me. And so that's what Spirit is saying here, right? Is having this moment of where you just start understanding. And that's easier said than done, honestly. But understanding that when you have these conflicts, it's not all put on you. It's not all your fault, right? And I very much come from this place. For sure, this is definitely something that I could work on, where anytime there was a conflict when I was growing up, it was always my fault, no matter what, right? It was always my problem because I didn't do enough. I wasn't good enough. I didn't try hard enough. And so the reason why there's ever any conflict was because of my lack of doing something, my lack of doing what I should have done, what I should have known to have done. And so this is about understanding that conflict that's being brought towards you isn't a reflection of you and may actually have absolutely nothing to do with you. It's more about the other person. And so not getting into this freeze where you just don't stand up for yourself and you don't say things, but now understanding, no, this is on you and I'll be able to stand up for myself. This isn't about fighting, right? This isn't about making conflict or having conflict. It's just about understanding when you bring me the conflict, I'm going to say what is true. I'm going to stand up for myself and I'm not going to have that fear that, nobody likes me and this is all my fault and it's all on me. So what's the first step to this awakening? Because awakening is a hard one. Awakening takes time and experience and, understanding over years and years and years to have awakenings. They just usually don't happen overnight. I'm not saying they wouldn't or couldn't, but it's usually not. We go from, I want to say damaged goods, and I don't mean it that way, but just damaged in terms of not being completely healthy and confident in yourself. So, it's hard to go from like, I feel like I'm damaged goods to, oh yeah, no, everything's fine. I'm perfect. And it's other people coming at me that have issues. Okay, just a second, because I had them fall on the ground. I had 2 cards come out. Oh, look at this. There we go. So start balancing things. We got the 2 of Pentacles. This is all about like finding the balance. It can be about making 2 opposing choices, right? You have 2 options. We either go left or we go right, but we can't go both. So, but in this case, I would say it's about balancing things, right? Balancing your priorities, balancing, how you look at a situation, right? Don't always look at it from, well, if someone's coming to me with conflict, it has to be all me, me, me. No, finding the balance in that, seeing where, okay, yeah, maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I should have done something better. Maybe, we could do something better. It's not even I should have or could, but I will look at things at what can I do to change this conflict, but also understanding that what should they be doing to change this conflict? How are they going to? So, and just finding some balance in life, between that hard work and that play, being flexible, being adaptable. And then we got the Knight of Wands, which is, this is not the fastest knight, but this knight is moving. It's going forward. It's ready for adventure. It's got energy. It's got confidence. It's got that, I always say the wands are like that spark of inspiration, that spark of passion, that spark of joy. And so you're moving forward on it. And I think what really this is saying is, what you need to be working on is having this awakening, this realization that it's not all on you, that it's not always your fault, that, other people have issues and other people will bring you conflict, and finding that balance, seeing that balance side, seeing both sides of the story, and also being willing to charge forward with your inspirations, with your passions, with what you want to do, right? Like you're moving forward with that spark of idea, that enthusiasm, that wanting to move forward, wanting to make things different, wanting to change things. And we're not going to worry so much about whatever other people think, right? We're not going to worry that, oh, I want to move forward on this, but it's going to cause me conflict with this person because they're not going to like it because whatever, they're trying to control my life. And so they're not going to like this because they're just trying to control me and trying to control me. And it's going to bring conflict. Well, you're not supposed to just not do what you need to do or want to do or feel you should do or are driven to do or, feels your purpose in life. You're not just supposed to not do that because this person over here is going to bring conflict to you. So now you're frozen in this not doing what you like your purpose is or what's meaningful to you. No, that's not what we should do. We should move forward with our spark of genius, move forward with our ideas, move forward with our plans, move forward with what you want to do. So Spirit is really saying, the first step is to start balancing your life out and moving forward with your passions, your desires, your dreams, what you want. And of course, we're going to get you an angel number today. I always feel you need angel numbers with the working on the shadow sides. We need those angels coming down around us. So let's get you an angel number today. Please and thank you, an angel number for this reading. And there we go. Ooh. So we got authenticity, 787, authenticity. Be yourself, pursue your passions, and show your authentic self. Don't pay attention to what others are thinking of you. Does that not go along with what I was saying, right? So start moving forward with your passion, with what you want, balancing yourself and what other people think, and just understand that they're allowed to think whatever they want. That's their life, but they're also allowed to live their life how they want, just like you're allowed to live your life how you want. That's how it works, right? You're not taking control of other people and making them do what you want, so other people should not be trying to take control of you and make you do what they want. So be yourself, pursue your passion, and show your authentic self. Don't pay attention to what others are thinking of you. Right? And usually those who are judging you, who are looking at you negatively, it's because they have their own negative issues, right? They've got their own issues in life. And so they are just looking at your life negatively, trying to put you down to make themselves feel better, right? Like, my life sucks, but at least I don't live in a small house. Well, you know what? You can judge me that way, but I'm happy in my small house. So as long as I'm happy, your judgment of, I may not be happy, but I've got a big house, doesn't affect me at all, right? Because I'm contented, I'm happy, I'm peaceful within my four walls. And we're going to get a Moonology card for you today. Let's see. Ooh. Little all over the place today. I've got back to school coming up. Don't know if you do. I know some countries, they go back earlier or later or go full year. I wish we could go full year. I would like that better. It's hard when you're a working single mom too, with that trying to organize everything. And now the kids aren't in school, so they're home all day. And of course, my house is perfect when I come home from work. Kids would never mess it up. All right, so we got our card here, and we have, full moon in Sagittarius. Look at the bigger picture. There you go. So start looking at the bigger picture. Start making your plans bigger. Start taking that inspired action. Don't worry about what other people are doing. You take a look at your bigger picture. You start balancing your life, right? We're not catering, say, like you're always trying to stay out of conflict with somebody, like a mom or a sibling. So you're, always unbalanced, trying to avoid the conflict. Well, we're going to balance ourselves. And if the conflict comes, we'll just deal with it, because we can deal with it. And we're going to move forward with our spark of passion, no matter what other people say, because we're having our awakening, right? And we're going to live in our authentic self, not worrying about other people. And we're going to start looking at the bigger picture, and we're going to see the bigger picture, right? Because when you start looking at the bigger picture too, you stop worrying about that one individual who's not a great person. Because you're like, oh, but it was like, I guess when I had my awakening, and I start realizing, oh wow, like there really is an afterlife. There really is a spiritual world. I had very much pushed things aside, pushed abilities aside for a long time, was in the agnostic realm, right? Like, but eventually I was pushed to have to realize it. I was pushed to have to start looking at this aspect, the spiritual aspect. I really had no choice. When I say that, I really mean I had no choice, and I had to start facing my fears in terms of it and start opening up and start really trying to explore it. And as I did, I started seeing this much broader picture, right? Like all of a sudden it's not just this life. All of a sudden it's this, this whole afterlife we have, or the spiritual world. I believe everything, we are spirit, everything is one. What you may consider, say, God, I consider that everything. That's the universe. That's all that exists is that, and all that exists is one. And we're all spirit, just having this physical, what we perceive as a physical, time, lifetime, but it's not an entire lifetime, right? I guess it is. It's this lifetime, not your spiritual lifetime, which goes on and on and on and on. And where was I getting with that? Oh, but as I came to this awakening and I started seeing the bigger picture and started understanding that this isn't our only life, and we come here for experience and yada 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 yada. All of a sudden, all that sort of those negative people, those things that were around, like it stops mattering, because you start seeing this big picture of, we're having lifetime after lifetime, and, you're in my world in order to whatever, to push me to do something, to stop me from doing something, even if you're a negative influence in my life, you've somehow steered or directed or changed things to help me along in my journey, and I've done so for you. And so as you start seeing this sort of broader picture, you start losing all the sort of resentment or the caring. And that sounds so bad, caring, but it's like you care more about your loved ones that are close to you. And at the same time, you care less about, this person over here who's just bringing me conflict all the time, and this person over here who doesn't agree with what I do. It kind of becomes like, it doesn't matter. I don't know how more to explain it than that. But when you start seeing things from a broader perspective, from a bigger picture, and not just stuck in your own little tiny world over here, it becomes more peaceful. You're not as concerned about other people's problems anymore. You're not as concerned about your problems anymore. Honestly, your problems just don't seem as big as they once did. And that healing starts really sort of coming in and coming towards you. And so I really, really do encourage you to start, having this awakening, looking at the bigger picture, balancing things in your life, moving forward with your goals, your desires, your dreams. Don't worry about the rest of them. Just be yourself and don't worry what others people think. So I hope this message helped you today. I'm sending you peace, love, and happiness. Bye for now.